Hi, my name is Aretha. I'm a filmmaker, I'm a streamer, I'm a content creator. And one thing you don't know about me, or maybe you do, who knows, you might, is that I am a huge Anne Rice fan. I love Anne Rice. You know, I, it's one of those things where it's like, I kind of joked about having ADHD all my life until I finally got diagnosed like a little while ago. And yeah, my brain can be all over the place. And I find that reading things that I'm not interested in is actually very hard for me. And it wasn't until I was about 13 that my mother's we went to go visit my mom's friend. Well, actually her cousin and then her cousin's girlfriend at the time. Um and we went to go visit them. And I remember I was sitting there and and she gave me she was like asking me questions and stuff, and I was saying how I didn't like to read very much, and she was like, "Here, read this book." And she gave me Interview with the Vampire. Um, I read that book in 3 days as a 13-year-old. I loved it so much that I wanted to read all the other series. Queen of the Damned is still my favorite book. I usually read it every couple years. Um, I love the whole vampire lore. I love everything about it. I don't like the Queen of the Damned movie, but when I heard that AMC was coming out with Interview with the Vampire the series, and I don't know, I think I have to read more about it, but what I've heard is I do believe Anne Rice and her son Chris Rice were a part of the process, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, I just wanted to watch the first episode and kind of get my reaction and see where it goes from here. I'm not going to show the whole thing because obviously I can't. Um, but I will give you little snippets here and there of what it feels like. So this is my first time watching it, and I wanted to give you my perspective and opinions and just my reaction of watching this for the first time as like a diehard Anne Rice fan.
There are stories out there that need to be told. There's shit out there that's just, wrong.
What
People
happened?
need to know.
Okay, that was that. I was gonna say, wait, I know that guy. He's an actor. He's not a journalist.
I need you. Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Ooh, that is very,
I gotta
very
call you
pretty right
back.
now. Okay. So first things first. Okay. So I was confused at the beginning because I thought, oh, this is another commercial. Then I remembered, wait, no, this is an actor. I've seen this actor before. It sounds like they're like, hey, remember this interview or whatever? Let's continue on the conversation. So I'm like, okay, I think they're taking a little bit of a spin to it because it's not like, hey, we're going back to and just redoing the movie. They're like, oh, we're gonna go further into the future because you see he has to like dig out something to like listen to cassette tapes. And we're basically in a like, let's continue this conversation. You're no longer a young person, let's move forward. So it's interesting so far. I actually really like that take. I like it. It's fresh. It kind of gives an opportunity to take us outside a world of not what we're expecting, especially people who've read all the books or have watched the movie and are diehard fans of the movie. So it feels like it's kind of, although it's paying homage to the original story, it's kind of bringing us out from that story and bringing us to the future. Um, if you've read all the vampire books, you kind of know like where their stories kind of go. But I think it's pretty interesting. I like it so far. Well, I mean, I've only watched 5 minutes, but I like it so far.
And here's another question. That's the sun out there. Where's your coffin?
You're standing in it.
Okay.
That's my voice, but I don't remember it. I ask all the wrong questions.
Yes.
There's contradictions in your story I never follow up on.
Yes.
The few good ones I do manage to get out, you steamroll over them. It's not an interview, it's a fever dream told to an idiot.
Yes.
Okay, I think it's interesting. So far we have everything that's happening. Like I said, I like this concept of it of them taking concept of, okay, the interview happened, but now it's like we're going to do the interview again, but this time we're going to do it properly because they're both in different places in their lives. Even though one's immortal, they're still in different places in their lives. And if you've ever read the book about where kind of Lestat and Louis actually go, um, you see that their journeys take them to different paths and things. And all of them, all of the vampires kind of, you know, slowly kind of morph into different kind of things. Um, and like their beliefs, what they stand for, things like that. And so, I mean, and so for me, it's like, okay, I kind of get it. I'm having a hard time watching this without knowing kind of what happens, especially, I said David, it was Daniel. It was Daniel. I'm horrible with people's names. I kind of know where his story goes to, and so I'm trying to kind of put that outside my head in the moment and just watch and be in the moment. So I don't know if I'm going to be reacting to much, but it is very interesting. Um, and I like the concept so far. So I'm going to try in my mind to do my best to put aside the books, put aside the original movie, and just absorb it.
What happened?
Connie hit me.
Oh, I'm a Connie now. A minute ago, I was his love.
All them family? Hitting on me? God damn it, Briggs.
He stuck it in my box.
I did no such thing.
Gave him a chance to pull out. He kept on so I gave him a little squirt of my catfish dinner for going there. Don't believe me? Check his
You talking to? I ain't checking no man's. Oh, God. I couldn't believe it. Staring me down as his hands went wandering the seams of Miss Lily's dress. I wanted to take the end of my cane and slit his throat with it.
And the women, all shades of skin. White, black, cinnamon. I've emptied a bank vault sampling, I must say, but it was not until a few nights later, quand je regarde un homme sortir un couteau de sa canne et presser la lame sur le stomach de son frère, that I said to myself, Lestat, unpack your trunks, you're home.
I think we see a lot of the parallels between the movies, the original movies, and then this like what they've set up in the conversation before, which is the interview. Its original interview lacked a bunch of things, and that the interviewer was actually, young and like, on drugs and doing all these things, so wasn't in a position to ask the hard hitting facts like he would now of someone of his caliber. So um yeah, I think it's so interesting because now we are seeing the same story but with more detail.
Very kind of you, Mr. Anderson, sir.
What do you think of the location?
Ain't Basin Street, but throwing up Edison balls on the facade, get a good margin on the alcohol, no nonsense madam to keep the girls clean. I reckon a man can make a decent sum. Yes, sir, Mr. Fenwick, sir.
I said you do it for 10%.
All respects, Mr. Anderson, but you posing 10% for all the work?
15?
There's capital investment, and there's labor. Both has its seat at the table, wouldn't you say, Mr. Lestat?
No,
Well,
know
I can
your
only
worth.
speak of my
Know your worth.
Which is, I'm sure, different in my country. Par exemple,
I think even the main character is telling us, slow down. We're not getting there. Listen to the story. We're building something here. And I'm so used to the movie because the book is like that too. Actually, the books are like that. If you actually look at Anne Rice's books, they're actually pretty big. So like getting to getting there is a journey and a story. And so I already feel like the series is kind of saying, slow down. Let's get into building the relationship of how they were like already starting to meet each other. I don't know if Lestat had that ability specifically. Um, but first and foremost, know your worth.
I was being hunted, and I was completely unaware it was happening.
Hunted or groomed?
what exactly is the nature of your relationship with my brother, Monsieur Leon Cool?
All of it.
Stop.
And so, to answer your boring question, there is an ocean between Christ and myself.
Stop.
J'espère que cela satisfera 3 ans perché dans la cage de votre esprit.
Don't do that shit here. Not with my family. You understand?
Oh, we called him out. I think we see him kind of losing his temper because he did have a bit of a temper in all the stories and everything like that. And more so, Lestat is actually the main character of Anne Rice's like of the Vampire Chronicles and kind of like the forefront of the majority of the characters and kind of moves all the stories forward through Lestat. So yeah, this is very interesting. I kind of like it, and I was like, oh my god. He's like, what kind of relationship do you have with my brother? And he's like, what? um So I do like that it's still hindering on this idea of like, you know, um, of the sexual tension, friendship, whatever. Like they seem to be a lot of things to each other. And I like that the story is kind of playing with those storylines a little bit. Because Lestat basically he'll be with anyone. He really was. And he was very open and free about that, even back then, even before he was a vampire and stuff like that. So yeah, interesting.
Drink up, my good man. The earth's a savage garden.
Fun fact. Um, the band Savage Garden got it from an Anne Rice novel. That's where Savage Garden got their name. If you didn't know that, fun fact. Another fun fact. Anne Rice also did erotica novels or romance novels under the name Anne Rampling, which was I believe her maiden name.
Obviously, I've come to embrace my sexuality. Of course, you know that. We met at a gay bar, didn't we, Daniel?
It was a good place to score. I did what I had to. But we're not here for me, are we?
When
Daniel
you
at
were
a gay
using
bar.
drugs, Mr. Malloy.
I love you, Louis.
I love you too, baby brother.
I ate too much checker cake.
Paul.
What's he doing? What are you doing? What are you...
That was the last sunrise I ever saw. Perhaps the kindest thing the dark gift has given me.
Why? I mean, I'm not really a religious person, so but Paul was. And why would he do that? Cuz the mother is right. Like if he wholeheartedly believed that, if he wanted to go to heaven, that's not the way. You're not going to be able to go unless and it looks like he's so adamant about not admitting his sexuality that he has this experience with him and decides he's never going to see him again. So it looks like he's cut him out of his life, right? Um, but then never actually like. I mean, knowing what I know about all the things in Lestat's not going to like that. So I think this has Lestat written all over it because it just doesn't make sense why Paul would do that. And people who manipulate you who feel like they can't control you anymore or, have this kind of sense of like ownership or whatever, they sometimes can like, remove people from your life because that's it. Like that was the whole thing that I was saying that I already find very interesting is that even in the show, they're kind of portraying Lestat like, hey, he didn't start out alone. He's slowly going to be alone, right? Like, look, they gave the sister tickets and everything to go on this world trip. So his sister and her husband are going to be going around the world. So the only one left is Paul and the mom. And what he had with Lestat, he's getting from his brother again. So if you want to isolate him, you want to get rid of Paul. I think this has Lestat written all over it.
Police found her under the docks. Said she contracted the fevers that's been going around. Blood went and dried up inside her.
Yum.
Ooh, okay. See, I told you. He's trying to separate her and take everything away from him so he has no one left to turn to but Lestat.
Yeah.
Lestat's MO.
Is in New Orleans. I laid down with a man. I laid down with the devil. And he has roots in me. All his spindly roots in me.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. That scene was fucking everything. Wow. Oh my god. This is where the filmmaker geek gets into the way of like the film angles, the monologue, the delivery. Like, wow. I just like I wow. That was good. That was good. But I did say his brother's passing sounds like everything to do with Lestat because you could see Lestat going into his life, picking people out. He went for comfort. The the girl, she even said he never slept with me. He only just wanted to talk because she was a listener. And he was able to keep up her appearances basically by, paying this prostitute to basically talk to him. So, yeah, he removed her. He removed his brother, who also was that confidant, and is slowly saying, "No, you have to come back to me." And as he's like resisting as much as possible, he then goes to the priest thinking, "Oh, I'm going to go to the priest and the priest is going to be fine." And then what does he do? Taking the priest.
Conceptions, even my guilt and my wish to die seemed utterly unimportant.
That's episode 1. Yeah, I'm definitely going to watch more of it. And I think I really like the changes. I'm not going to lie. I wasn't too sure if I was going to like it or not because I do really like the books. But then again, that's the whole reason why I didn't like the Queen of the Damned movie because it just strayed from the books too much. It's strayed from the story. It's strayed from the purpose of the Queen of the Damned. Um, which to me, Queen of the Damned is the background of how Anne Rice, how vampires came to be in the Anne Rice Vampire Chronicles. So I feel like it skipped over all that information and just kind of like made it more of like a hey, we're gonna have a cool concert in the thing. Like that does happen, but um yeah, there's so many cool things about that book that bring about like the storylines that kind of tie to the other vampires and kind of bring them all together. And they will come together again in the future, but um yeah. So I like this because it strays from the original kind of storylines, but it kind of doesn't though. So I don't know. I'm really liking this series. I do want to watch more. I hope it keeps down this path of kind of just surprising you of like almost going deeper into their characters and showing their relationship because you kind of then get more and more like I feel like you could play with this relationship because they do kind of love and hate each other at the same time. And you can see why. um I believe Anne Rice and her son Christopher Rice. So I think being involved in this series is what's making it better. Because if you know Anne Rice's storytelling side, I feel like this is like it already I already feel that. I'm already really loving this series. I'm loving everything about it. I really like the actors. I didn't really like them in the beginning, to be honest. I felt like there was something that was missing. But in the actual scenes, like especially the one about the confessional, like, oh my God, that scene. Oh, beautiful. Beautiful acted. The monologue, everything, I loved it. I was like just blown away. Also, the Lestat, I wasn't too sure about in the beginning. But as the show continued on, I was like, okay, this is the Lestat I know from the books. And I was like, okay, I like it. Okay, I'm buying into it. I'm being lost in the world, and I'm not losing my mind. I'm not getting sidetracked by like little nitpicky kind of things that I sometimes tend to do in films where I'm like, I'm kind of pulled out of the story now because of these things. And that's what Queen of the Damned did to me. I was pulled out of the story so much because I'm like, no, that's not, no, no. Nothing about any of the storytelling is doing that to me, and it's really keeping me in the story. Um, I definitely recommend you say it. I also like that they also did a call out to the Mayfair witches as well, and I believe they're going to be doing another trilogy project on that as well. So I will watch that one as well. Um, but I'll continue to watch this one. Well, thank you so much for watching. You can find me anywhere on Simply Aretha. I also am on Twitch. Thank you all, and don't forget to hit the like, and don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to answer the question below in the comment section. And I will see you later.